Hi friends, this is Kate from Kate's Crafting Corner. It is June 17th and it has been almost 6 months since an update. Yeah, it's been a long time. Life has been crazy and I have just been so busy. I really did not realize how much energy working with children all day really does take out of you. Most nights I did not get any crafting done on work nights. I just literally it took me about half the semester to stop falling asleep at like 6 p.m. Then I started staying at work late and working, and so then I started, I would drink one energy drink after my lunch break, and lunch was 11 to 11:45, so a pretty early lunch break, and that would give me enough energy to make it to about 9 or 10 o'clock, and but not so much energy that I was able to do anything besides mindlessly scroll Instagram for a couple of hours. So I'm hoping you can't see too much of the mess that is my craft room. It is a ginormous mess that I am working towards sorting out. Some things that would happen is like, I did an after-school crochet club, and so I went to Goodwill a lot to try to find yarn because we had a $100 budget, and there's 20 kids in the club. Even Super Saver yarn is like $7 a skein. So to try to make our budget stretch, I shopped at Goodwill a lot. I donated a lot of my own stuff, just that type of thing. And so anything that I got at the thrift store though just winded up in a pile. I can basically not access that right now. So that's one thing I'm hoping to get sorted out. But I love my new job. In case you didn't hear, I am working in an elementary school as the library technician, basically the librarian, but because I don't have my master's degree in library science and I'm not certified, it's library technician. It's dumb. I'm basically a librarian, whatever. Anyways, so I have a lot to update on, like in theory, but because I had so little energy, I didn't actually do as much as, like, when you see it, you'll be like, that's a lot of projects. However, you have to keep in mind it's like 6 months of work. And when I eventually show my yarn acquisitions, also keep in mind that's 6 months worth of things coming in. I've been so tired and busy and everything that I haven't even just taken the pictures of the yarn to put into Ravelry. Like, yeah. So a few life updates. What are you doing here? This is a balloon that's normally like trapped in the closet. Hang on. Okay, I'm back, because if that kept drifting in, it was gonna drive me insane. Anyway, so a few life updates since in the last 6 months. So my last video, I'm not talking about the February WIPCO because that was just a WIPCO thing, but my last update video, the next day I was going in for tooth extraction, and I have a really high pain threshold. I mean, it's really high. I can ignore most pain. But we were having a series of storms, and I was in excruciating pain during my recovery for that. There was a lot of air pressure issues. The stitches came out. It was those like dissolvable kind, but they came out in like a day or two. I was in so much pain, and we were supposed to have Georgie fixed like that first weekend of my recovery. I was in so much pain, we put that one off, And lo and behold, Gracie got pregnant 2 weeks later. So we had one more litter of puppies. This one I named after Percy Jackson characters because I did a Percy Jackson book club. So we have rehomed Percy. Actually, he went to the grandmother of one of my students that was in the book club. And he is doing so good. They're almost 3 months now, so they've had their first set of shots. We still have the 3 little girls, and I will maybe put in a picture. I haven't been taking pictures. I'm just so busy most of the time. I don't have the time or the energy to take pictures. But so we have Annabeth, Hazel, and Rachel. And we still have Meg and Amy from the previous litter. You might recall, and it's okay if you don't, that on Christmas Day, the people who got Meg asked us to take her back, that they were in over their heads. And I don't know what happened to her in the 1 week she was away from us. I don't think they abused her, but she's basically traumatized, or has been. Anytime we take her in a car, she just well, it's gotten better. But for a couple, 2 to 3 months, anytime we took her in a car, she'd just shake. Like, shake. Any human that isn't me or my husband, she barks her head off. Like, real stranger danger, stay away from me barking. Even if she hasn't ascertained that the human is me or my husband, until we get close enough to her that she realizes it's us, she barks like that. When we brought her back into the house and she was reunited with Amy, it was like a complete bonding together. And so Amy's been like a comfort for her. Now they do sibling rivalry, like the most stereotypical sibling rivalry that you could imagine. They just, one minute they're best friends, the next minute they're worst enemies. And but so we haven't rehomed Amy because Meg was going through a lot, so we still need to rehome them both. We wish we could find someone that was willing to take both, but yeah, so we have a lot of dogs in the house at the moment. Things are crazy. And so, like, having that litter of puppies, they were born like a week or 2 before spring break, plus the 2 from the previous litter, plus the 6 we always have, has just been a lot. During spring break, we did get Georgie fixed, so that was our final little litter of puppies, like no take-backs or anything like that. Georgie got fixed, he healed real well, real quick, everything like that, and he's doing great. Gracie is back to her old self every time. She brings toys for you to play with her, and she's back to her old little crazy Gracie self. So that's all going good. The other personal kind of updates is my sister is pregnant, and she's expecting a girl in August. And so when I made my plans, I didn't know that or have any kind of factoring into that. So a lot of my plans have kind of changed because I want to make things for the baby. My parents are this is a sister who lives in England. My parents are going over there mid-July, and so I have things that need to get done by then. So it is nice to have a summer break, especially since, because I was so tired, I really let the house get out of order. I mean, to be completely honest, when I did the last video, my mom had helped me decorate the Christmas tree after Christmas. I am just getting the Christmas tree taken down in June. I finally got the Christmas stuff off the walls. It's bad. Like, so bad. The house is such a mess, and it's just been because I'm so completely tired. My mom, who was an elementary school teacher and taught primarily kindergarten, says it gets better after the first year or two, so I am hoping for that. I am also not gonna over push myself as much as I did this year. I do believe in like jumping in and trying to do as much as you can while the passion is still high, and I undertook several large projects. I'm gonna try to put in some pictures as I talk, so if you want to see anything about my library. I did decide to de-genreify our library and put it in alphabetical order instead. Part of the reason is because books weren't consistently put in the correct genre or even the same genre. For example, we had The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, or the Chronicles of Narnia series, in 3 different areas. It was in a series section, it was in a historical fiction section, and it was also in fantasy. And so if you are looking for book number 3, good luck knowing which of those 3 sections it's gonna be in. And that happened a lot with American Girl doll books, with Nancy Drew books, with a ton of different books. And so I decided to just, and after talking to a couple other librarians, to de-genreify the library. And this is a massive undertaking, because at the same time I found these shelf markers online that I bought and have been putting up for the nonfiction section. And what it is it takes the Dewey Decimal System categories and puts visual aids with them. So, for example, the 500 section covers a lot of things. It covers science and outer space and animals. And the animals section in our library is very large. And so what this does is it puts like all of the land mammals in the same category, and it puts pictures of land animals or mammals, so that when the students are looking for books about elephants, they can visually see what section they should be looking at. If they're looking for a book about sports, it's broken up into the different sports categories, and they can visually find things on their own. I really wanted to do this for multiple reasons, one of which is it added some color into the library. Our library was not very colorful, and I really think that color inspires learning and ignites the brain, and so I wanted to add some more color to the library. Second of all, I really want the kids to become a little bit more self-sufficient. I get asked the same questions all the time, which is like, Mrs. Bellin, where are the books about sports? Where are the books? So I wanted them to be able to look and find for themselves. They're still always going to have those questions because I'm dealing with from TK, transitional kindergarten, up through 6th grade. And so I'm just hoping that it will help teach them to become a little bit more self-sufficient. So I'm doing that with the nonfiction section, and then with the fiction section, I am taking them out of their genres and putting them in alphabetical order. So to say that, I mean, our library has about 15,000 books in it. All of them now need to be scanned. Their sub-locations need to be changed in the computer system so that if I type it in to the computer, it will tell me where it's located. Most of the books did not have sublocations for it. So the other problem is like we have 2 picture book sections. One picture book section is more for kindergarten and beginning 1st grade. They're the like super simple, basically just pictures and a few words, like sight learning words on the pages. The other picture book section is like Dr. Seuss or Miss Nelson is missing, or those kind of picture books, you know, the ones that Pig the Pug and a bunch like that. Before, it did not tell you which of those 2 picture book sections any of the books were. So all of the picture book sections had to be scanned and changed to whether it's a red or orange dot, which is the beginning picture book readers, or green and yellow, which are the higher up picture books. So it's a lot of books. It's a lot of books to scan and change sub locations. And I'm not done. I had to leave my projects in mid-project because school ran out. And it is a lot of work, and that's part of why I was spending so much extra time and energy doing it. But when it's done, it is going to be so worth it. It's going to make shelving again easier. It's going to make finding the books again easier. And everything will run much smoother. So while it is a lot of work right now, I do believe that in the end it will be worth it. By the end of the school year, I had kind of burnt out. And the other reason is because 3 weeks before the end of the school year, we had our Scholastic Book Fair, which is run by me. And I have never run a Scholastic Book Fair before. It was really successful. I was really proud of the outcome. For those of you who might not know, school libraries have a very small budget. My budget for the entire year is $700. So anything I need for the library has to come out of that, which is why I end up spending a lot of my own money. But decorations has to come out of that budget. Supplies has to come out of that budget. If I need more book tape to bind things, it has to come out of that budget. However, what I earned from the school book fair, I get to spend through Scholastic dollars. And I made between $4,000 and $5,000 in Scholastic dollars, which is fantastic. I got a bunch of bonuses because it was the school's second book fair, so that added like a percentage back. I did meet the threshold of over $3,500 in sales, which means I earned 50% of the sales. So we did do almost $9,000 in sales, which was so good. I was so happy and impressed with that, which means I get to put a lot of that back into the library. So one thing, like I bought from Scholastic a book binding repair machine, and that's gonna come. I had to get it delivered to my house because the school's closed. They're doing updates to the school this summer, modernization or whatever. And so I had to get that delivered here. It's not delivered yet, but I'm really excited about that. Also want to really increase our foreign language section because where we live, there are a lot of Russian and Ukrainian immigrants, and a lot of them are coming from the war to try to get away from the war. But some of them don't speak any English. And so they ask for books, and we've only got like a handful, and they're like Little Red Riding Hood and things like that. So I'm really hoping to beef up that category. We really need more graphic novels. The kids check them out like no one's business. So I want to increase that area. So I'm really excited to be able to put back books into the library and just do a bunch of things like that. And because we had such a successful book fair, which really I worked my butt off on that book fair. I had a couple 12+ hour days doing that. But because of that, I get to invest a lot of that back into the school, and I'm really super excited about that. So, I mean, that's kind of like my library updates. I do have a box over here, and one thing I decided to do next year in the library is I really wanted to create I'm going with like a fantasy theme in the library. And so I wanted to do a fairy garden. So I have been collecting at Hobby Lobby and different places fairy garden type of stuff. So I've gotten almost everything that I need. I still need to buy an aquarium. And right now Petco has them on sale half off. So I think I can get one for like $30. So gonna get that. And I still need some like trees, like, I mean fake trees, like little trees to create the forest situation. But I'm so super excited. So I'm not gonna put that together until I get back to school. But when I do, I will try to take some pictures. I might try to get some like fairy lights to put around the rim, maybe even crisscross on the top to give like a mystical feeling. One student told me the only thing she was really missing from the previous librarian is she had fish, and they used to like to look at the fish. And so what I'm hoping is to create like fairy scenes and change it out throughout the year. Like when it's Halloween, put some like, I don't know, little spiders or cobwebs and type of stuff. When it's Christmas time, get some snow going, that type of thing. And to just like change it up every now and then, and to like let the kids have fun seeing, not touching, because I did unfortunately have to deal with a few theft situations over this last semester. But I really love my job, but it is exhausting. So now that I've rambled forever about that, I will finally do some craft updates. So this is going to be in several different segments because there's just so much. And so I'm gonna edit it all together. I'll try to put in timestamps. But yeah, so I'm gonna start with the cross stitch section. I have seemed to have misplaced one of my cross stitches, which is really disappointing because it's one I got one of the most progress on. I did 800 stitches, and it's on my map of Rohan, which I really love because it's single color. I have no clue where it's at. Like, honestly, I have no clue where it's at. I searched all over. I probably spent an hour to two looking here in the room. It's probably here somewhere. This room is just such a disaster zone. One thing we're gonna do is order a couple more of the white IKEA shelves, and I'm gonna fit them into the closet. I did measure, but that will hopefully allow me to get the stuff that I've literally just dumped into the closet a little bit more organized. I'm also overflowing with yarn, but I can't stop acquiring yarn. But so, okay, I'll share about the yarn later. So I did show you guys this update on the February WIPGO one. I'm not going to put in before pictures because it's just, there's so much. But I did 200 stitches on this North Pole Welcome Sal. And I think most of it was this red color. As a matter of fact, I think that's the only color I worked with. So that is that progress. The next thing I worked on is the Postman Always Rings Twice Sal, and I'm still on the first block. I'd really hoped to stay caught up with this. It just didn't happen. So that's where I'm at on the first block. I have 6 blocks outlined, but yeah, Barcelona. And I'm not even that far from finishing it, so honestly, I don't even know what other cities that they've stopped in. That's how bad and far behind I am. I haven't even looked. Then the Fox and Rabbit Mystery Sal I started. This is some hand-dyed, tea coffee dyed fabric. I cannot find this size fabric anymore at Hobby Lobby or Joann's or anywhere. So that sucks because that means I have to order online, and I really just honestly don't like to order online most of the time. I mean, I buy like all my yarn online, but I don't really buy cross stitch stuff online. I don't know. Anyways, that's how much I did. I bought a cone of this teal color. It's not showing up real well, but it is really pretty in person. Anyways. And that's how far I got. The next one I have is the Big City Christmas. I am almost done with the second block, and there's 7 blocks total. But so here is, and this was a new start. Hang on. So here's where that is. I basically just need to fill in the outline of the building, and I will be done with, and then backstitch the words on the sign, and I will be done with that. So here is Santa in front of the department store. I'll do his eyes at the end because when French knots get stuck in the Q-snaps, they get really distorted. But this is the movie theater, and I am very nearly done with that. I did make a mistake, and I didn't realize it till I was all the way down here doing the doors, but I started this one too low. I thought I had counted right on the pattern. The problem is because these are each like they could be standalone patterns, I struggle to see where they should be connected properly, and these 2 white ones should have been next to each other. I thought this one was supposed to be down like that. No. But by the time I had realized it, I had done almost everything. So what I ended up doing was taking off 1 line on the door, and then I need to remember on this one to start it 1 too high, and then I'm hoping after that I can do it normal and no one will notice. I don't know. The other thing I could do is just pick out this border part and just restitch the border and leave the house in snowflakes alone. So that's the other thing I've been debating. Let me put that last Q-snap back on. What has ended up happening is that I have a lot of new starts, I guess. But I have been stuck on stitching the same project for like 2 or 3 weeks before I move on to another project. Like, I've not been wanting to change projects. And so I'll make like a decent chunk of progress, but then I just won't go back to it, is what the problem has been. Let me bring over the next stack. So this one on the coronation day of the king, I started Kings and Queens of the United Kingdom. I'm seeing if I have a cover picture. Apparently not. That's interesting. So I am working on the border right now, or at least when I last worked on this. And so this is what it looks like. So I've got the Union Jack up top, the flag of Scotland on that side. It'll be the flag of England on this side with Wales and Northern Ireland at the bottom. And then stitched along in rows are all the kings and queens that they've had in the years of their reign. So yeah, I started this on the coronation of King Charles. I watched all the events of that day. I got up so early so I could watch it. And I mean, I think it's great. I know that whether there should be a monarchy is a divisive subject. My Scottish friends say no, which I get. As an American, I get that. I am also half South African, so we are a part of the Commonwealth. And I honestly, I like, it's not a concept that would work in America, having a monarchy, but I think that there are a lot of benefits of it for over there. There's a lot of ways that you can keep a separation of the political entity doing what they're supposed to be doing, and the royal family can take care of other things like a lot of charity work, a lot of like the meet and greets type of things, and then the politicians can focus on politics. I don't know. That's just my opinion, and if you don't agree, please don't argue with me in the comments. I'm not really into arguing. Like, you're free to have your own opinion. Just, I have my opinion, you have your opinion, that's great. Let's just leave it at that. So, next project is a new start. It's called Rivendell. And I was going to start this one around New Year's, but I don't think I actually started it till like April or something like that. And this is a full coverage. This is where I'm at. And yeah, when I started working on this one, like, I worked hard until like I mean, that doesn't look like that much, but like for me at the time, I think that was like 3 weeks of, this is the only cross stitch I worked on. Like, the next one I tried to get some more work on is, I still haven't finished the cross stitch advent one. You know what? I don't think a single dog is up here with me. That's crazy. So I finished the cross stitching. They must have been stocking the door for my husband to come in. I'm at the back stitching now for, he's so loud. I'm at the back stitching part now. There is a lot of back stitching, unfortunately. So let's see, what day am I on? I'm on day 22, so I'm almost finished, which will be nice. Unfortunately, those destructive little monsters stole last year's ornament off the tree and wrecked it. Luckily, they didn't wreck the stitching, so I can finish it in a different manner and just, like, I guess, box it and stuff it. But I was not pleased. They destroyed a lot of ornaments this year. They really were just naughty. The next one I have to share is Castle Homecoming Frosted Pumpkins Stitch Along, and I have finished the part that has been released so far. So let me hold it on a background so it's not so see-through. And yeah, I'm really happy with the amount of progress. That's about 2,000 stitches, and this came out, that first part came out on my last day of school, so you can see there's been an uptick since school got out that I've been able to craft more. Then I have a finish, and that is August Cottage of the month. And let's see, I had done August, the building, and one tree. So I did the clouds, I did both borders, I did the second tree and the little seagulls. And yeah, really happy with that. Next we have the June Cottage, which is the next one I'm working towards finishing. And my plan is, so you guys know I have that big chalkboard that's like distressed on the edge, and then I had glued 2 magnets on so that I could put up the month and the season. So my plan is to take the chalkboard to school and use it in that same respect. So I need to finish all the months and the seasonals, which is what I'm working on now, and like get the backing on it and everything. And then I think I'm gonna use the chalkboard, like put the date on it every day and like the classes that are scheduled to come in or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I haven't fully decided what I'm gonna use it for, but I'm not using it really efficiently here at home right now, and it's just like taking up space. And so I'm thinking I'm probably gonna take it to school. I can always bring it back if I don't end up liking it there or using it, but yeah, having started halfway through the school year, a lot of things felt like I was walking into someone else's space in someone else's library, and like the guidance counselor was doing a lot of things in the libraries, a lot of displays and stuff. And so the principal told me, like, at any point that I was ready to take over doing that, just to let her know. And I felt like the best time to do that was just the end of the school year and say, I've really appreciated everything you're doing, but I have a theme and a vision that I'd like to implement in the upcoming school year. And so that's what's happening. So now I get to try things out more my way and hopefully create a bright and a happy, I mean, not like bright, but like bring in some colors, more colors, and create like a whole fantasy dreamland situation. Like we got a carpet that is like, it's a castle on there, and it's got like a dragon and a princess. And then I got like a wall design that you stick to the wall, and it's like looking through a window into a castle at the distance. And I just, some things like that. And so just trying to, like the fairy garden, just try to carry that theme throughout the library. And so yeah, I'm excited to get this space all to myself this upcoming school year. Put out book designs and stuff like that that are of my own thought, and this is one thing that I'd like to bring. I have 2 more whips to show you. The next one is Raven Queen. This is reminding me of what I still need to buy. I do have a shopping list going on 123 Stitch that is quite large, but I think it's been almost 2 years since I've done a 123 Stitch order, and I just am missing a lot of threads, like the fancy flosses. And so I just found them on all the projects basically that I'm missing them on, and just made like a list based off that. And then I added the afternoon series, because I finished Afternoon in London, so I still New York, Paris, and Rome. So I put that as like new projects. But anyways, I've only done 200 stitches, but this is my current whip. That and the June Cottage, but I really wanted to work on this because I just love this fabric that I have here for it. It's so dark and moody, and I just love it. And I had pulled this out for a group with prompts that this would fit in. Naturally, I was too late for all those prompts, but I still wanted to do this project. So the final whip I have to show you, and I'm probably going to take this off the bars like after I'm done filming this, is Victorian House. And this is a Nora Corbett. This is what it'll look like when it's done. I only had like a line like that. So I've done over 1,000 stitches on this since pulling it out, and I love it so much. I think, and this is a piece of fabric that you can see over here. I had started another project on, and it turned out to be too small for that. I bought this fabric with a SAL, and it was too small. So she sent me another piece. And so I think I can fit another house over here. So I really want to do that. I really like how that looks. So super happy with this one. I want to work on it more. I just don't have the space right now to be using my stand. It's just, yeah, the room's a mess. Everything's a mess. And I just don't have the space. So, I did have a few stash enhancements to share with you guys for cross stitch. And that is, I got this pattern at Joann's. I know that it's sold in the Fat Quarter shop, but I was super excited to see it on Joann's. I hope that she does more seasons because I love how this looks and I would love to have one for each season. I only got this last week, so I haven't started it yet, but it is definitely one I am planning on starting like ASAP. So really excited about that. Then I got this one, Home Sweet Home, and I just love how that looks. I think it's so cute. And so, those are two I got at Joann's. Then I went to Hobby Lobby and I found a few of the clearance ones, cross stitches. This one is one I've literally looked at for years and never bought it. And it was on sale for $4.49, which I think is a good price. So I don't know when I'll start it, but I am going to have this in my stash now. Next, I mean, this one didn't like speak to me so much, but it was $4. I mean, how could you say no for $4? So, and I do like it. It's just not one I would have bought at like $27, which was its full price. And the final one, this was full price, $30. This is one I have looked at for so long. And it's this map of the US. And what every time I've gone into Hobby and looked at it, but it's $30, so I didn't want to spend that. What I'm thinking about doing is going and each of the states I've visited, I will do that design and then keep it as like a whip until I visited every single state and done all of their designs. So I have visited quite a few states, so I'll be able to get a good chunk. And I did, after college, move from California to North Carolina. So I did do a road trip. We did a road trip across. So I will be able to create like a pathway to go off of. And then I have been like Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia. I've been to DC. I've been to New York. I've been to Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Texas, Oklahoma. I've been to a lot of states. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Enough to get a good portion here. And then I've done the whole California, Oregon, and just into the tip of Washington. Just to say that I've been into Washington. So, yeah, that's my plan for that. Don't know when I'll start it. And I'm probably going to swap out the fabric from the Aida to an even weave. But probably Lagana. But so that is my cross stitch update. If I manage to find Map of Rohan, I will fit in a little clip. Otherwise, here is my starting place. And here is the last update picture I took for cross stitch challenges. So to give you an idea, I did do 800 stitches and I cannot believe I can't find that. That is like my need to relax and don't want to do anything that involves too much thinking project. So disappointing. I will talk about cross stitch future plans towards the end of the video because what I'm going to talk about goes into my July plans, and that's going to be involved with yarn stuff, so I'm going to save that till after the yarn stuff. So the next thing I'm going to share is sewing and quilting updates because that's probably the smallest update. Yarn is going to be probably the biggest in terms of stash, and I'm going to do the stash update at the very end. I'll do whip updates and then plans, then I will do the yarn stash, because if you don't want to see 6 months worth of acquisitions, don't blame me for that, and you're going to be able to just like peace out. So I will be back in a minute when I bring all the quilting stuff closer. I am back, and while I was resetting, a little girl came and found me. This is Annabeth. Annabeth. Isn't that such a perfect little face? Of all the dogs from all the litters we've ever had, she is the most Gracie-like, which is our mama dog, that we've ever had. She plays in the same way as Gracie. She, like, all the others won't really play tug with you. As soon as you start tugging at the rope, they just drop it. But she still tries to tug. She's so feisty. She tries to get Gracie to play with her. And so cute. So this is Annabeth. Yes, you are cutie pie. Hazel. And this is Hazel Pazel. And except for the fact that she's a tiny bit darker, those two are basically identical. Oh yes, I love you. She's the calm girl though of this litter. Yes, you are. Except for when it comes time to come in. You usually have to, from outside, you usually have to like try to force her to come back. And we call her most times Hazley Paisley. Or Hazel Pazel. And I guess Rachel didn't come upstairs. But so, this is going to be the sewing update section. And the first thing I have to share with you is what started as a project bag. And I was trying to have this done for Coronation Day, but it didn't happen. It was just a really busy week. But look at this fabric panel. So you've got Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, and their 3 children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. Over there you've got the King and Queen Camilla, in the golden carriage, which I understand is very super uncomfortable. Then you've got the guards, Buckingham Palace, Westminster. Let me see about the other side. Big Ben. I just think that this fabric is so fantastic. So it's really trying to have this finished for another project. And this is going to be a knitting bag. For another project that I started on Coronation Day, and I will show that in the knitting section. But yeah, it was a really busy week at work and I didn't manage to get it done. I did finish the handle. So basically all that needs to be done now is the zipper to be added, the sides to be sewn up, and for it to get a flattened bottom. So yeah, if I put my mind to it, I'm sure I could get it done pretty quickly. The next quilting project I have to share with you is the quilt that I'm making for my sister's baby. Her name is Evelyn. And so my sister wanted like a woodland type of theme. And so we found this fabric line that is so perfect. So this is going to be the backing fabric. And isn't that so darling? The colors are perfect and everything. But so what I'm gonna, so I got a fat quarter bundle with 14 different prints, and I'm gonna do a disappearing 9 patch. So at this point what I've done is I've sewn 2 pieces, 2 squares together. This is the only one I have sewn into the 4 patch. So that's my next step. I'm hoping to have all the 4 patches done this weekend. so I can start cutting them and resewing them. I really need to get working on this because I do not have a lot of time. But so to give you some ideas of the fabric, so that's one. Here's another combination. Let's see what else is here. I'm just gonna pull to random parts of the pile. Here's another combination. Let's see, look a little further on. Oh, this one's cute, little hedgehog. But so yeah, this is the baby blanket I'm making for her. Oh, this one's an owl one. Anyways, yeah, super cute fabric line. It's going pretty well. It does take longer than I always think that it will. I have to say, I am super impressed at how I did with that corner. I'm just gonna kind of brag on myself. I think I got that one pretty much perfect. May all the corners be as beautiful, but I doubt it. Especially as time becomes more limited. Because like I said, I have to have this finished mid-July for my mom to take. And probably even sooner than that because my sewing machine's here. And so if I go down to Fresno to visit my mom, well, the sewing machine is still here. Plus, I have to do a quilt for my nephew. He's 8, and he has way outgrown his baby quilt that I made him. And so he loves dinosaurs, and I found this dinosaur Quello kit. Here's what the backing fabric looks like. And so, yeah, gotta do this one too. This one's a little bit more straightforward because there's no like cutting and resewing or anything like that involved. However, I do have to sew it in this way that it all folds up into this attached pillowcase situation, which is what makes it a Quello. It folds down like this, all stores nicely, and yeah. The final quilting thing I have to share is I enrolled in a Block of the Month club, and the first block has come out. I haven't done it yet, but this is what the end project will look like. And I've never done diagonals. I only like to do straight lines. And I thought that this was something that would really push me in terms of sewing. So all the materials are here for the first 2 blocks. Each month you sew 2 of the same block, I believe. The set blocks 1 and 9, which, yes, are the same. Blocks 1 and 9. And so that's the fabric for that. This is my backing fabric. And then this is called an Oops kit, which I did purchase because it has some extra of all of the fabric types in case you make a mistake. If not, you've just got like handy scrap fabric. So I thought better safe than sorry. So this hasn't been started, but I really would love to try to stay caught up with this one if at all possible. So yeah, need to get that first part done. And this is with a company called Shabby Chic. No, Shabby Fabrics. Okay, so that is my, oh, I do have stash to share for quilting sewing. So the first stash I will share is my other coronation fabric. So I have one more panel of that one. yeah, so one more like that. Because I had to buy a yard of it, and so this is the other half. Yeah, because actually like it's half going the lengthwise, so like it was mirrored on the other side. So to get the full design you needed like a full yard. Then I bought this one, which is like same kind of designs, just in a different like order. This one is like tea time, and I love tea. I grew up on it, and I love this purple background that's on it. It came on several different background colors, but this is the one I decided to go with. And the final fabric is the same as that blue one, only it's gray. So side by side. Yeah. Those are my coordination fabrics. And then I re-enrolled in the mini charm pack from Fat Quarter Shop. So I've got 3 months of that, and I am hoping someday soon, when life settles down, to be able to do hexies again. But yeah, okay, that is my sewing update. I am going to now pull out the yarn related whips, and then I will do stash after whips. Okay, bye. Okay, I'm back with my yarn updates. Not the stash update, but so I think the progress updates will go fairly quickly. So first we have the sock I started for my New Year, New Start. That was the Gone with the Wind colorway. And I'm doing a pattern called Stack of Books. I've seen this pattern done in other colorways, and it looks a lot nicer. I just think that the striping of this one doesn't do it justice. However, I do love how it looks. And so this is Gone with the Wind, and I have finished the first heel. And so now I just have to finish the foot and then do the second one. But the spacing of it turned out really perfectly, that it managed to stay in pattern even through the heel. It did like one full repeat on the heel flap and gusset, and then it came back into pattern. So I'm really happy with that. I was quite worried. Who knows if the second sock will have the same luck, but I will discover that later. Next we have another sock I started, and this is called the Shadow Box sock, and it is the first pattern in the Curious Handmade, her Secret Sock Society. The second sock has come out, but I haven't started it yet. But so yeah, this is my start. I don't remember what this colorway is called. I'm pretty sure it's a Bluebird yarn colorway. I had it already wound up, so I just decided to use it. That was like the entire thought process of that, which is why I sometimes think about just caking up all my yarns, because when it's caked up, it looks different, and also I'm more likely to do it. But then once you cake it up, you can't really go back. So I have 2 finished washcloths. This one I crocheted up real quick to get a sample idea for my crochet club. Unfortunately, most of the crochet club did not make it this far. 2 boys did though. Actually, I had more success in crochet club with the boys who joined. Clubs were maxed out at 20. I had 40 people sign up to do crochet club, which was really exciting. And then at that point they get randomized, the selections, and so we had, I think, 4 to 6 boys, which is really cool. And their teachers would come in and tell me that, like, sometimes they have to tell them to put their yarn away, or they'll see them at recess sitting there crocheting, which just kind of like warms my heart up. So I thought that was so cool. And then I wanted to experiment with a corner to corner, and I really love how this turned out. So that led to me being kind of obsessed with corner to corner. And so I decided to do an Afghan for my nephew and one for my niece, both in corner to corner. And so this cake has kind of fallen apart, but you can see it's a fade type of situation. And so this is the one for my nephew. This is where I'm at on it. So I'm almost as wide as I want to make it. Maybe about halfway there. But I'm gonna need to add some length, so I'll have to work it up as a rectangle. But anyways, these corner to corners go really quickly. So this is the one I have started for my nephew. And the one I have started for my niece, this cake has also started to fall apart, but this is what it looks like. And I think that's just so soft and delicate and pretty. So both of which, along with the quilts, need to be finished by mid-July, so gotta get cracking. But you know, actually, this is only like 1 to 2 nights work progress, so they go so fast. And the same with Hayden's, my nephew. I crocheted up some more of the granny squares that go with the Harry Potter Advent. So this one is Gillyweed. It was the first day's color. This one is Hogwarts Express. It is the second day's color. This one is Butterbeer. It is day 7. This one is Hedwig, which is day 11. I think at one point I was gonna crochet the number that corresponded with the Whipco picks. I fell behind on that, but I did do like 2 or 3 months of that. So that's Hedwig. This one is one of my favorites. It's Forbidden Forest, day 6. It's hard to see it because it's so, like, the holes. It's such a gorgeous, like, blues and greens. And the final one I have is Tonks, day 3, which is also gorgeous. So need to work on more of these. Maybe we'll see what Whipco squares have been called that I haven't done these for. So that is that. I did a few hours on my and I mentioned in the video I did that I would maybe just order more needles for this project because I had stolen them for a different project. Well, I ended up just using a pair of that I had bought a while ago from Hobby Lobby, and it's my issues generally with the cord, but it's going okay. So this marker over here is where I last was, and so I did that brown chunk. So I think I still need to do about 7 more hours on this project for the Whip Go Call, but it's now over halfway done. So that's pretty good. This is the one I started for Coronation Day. And what it was is it was a re-dye from Canon Hand Dyed's past advent calendar. When the Queen died, she Canon Hand Dyed put up the listing for the advent that was based off of the colors of the Queen's dresses. And so I bought that. I think I've mentioned that. And there was a pattern from a British designer called Bakery Bears, Kay Jones, and it's called Quadrophenia, and it's knit in 4 different rectangles and then sewn together to form a square. And so I wanted to do this pattern with this yarn on the King's Coronation Day, start it, which is what I did. And I have only worked on 1 color, but that's okay. I am close to being done with it. This is how much I have left. And I will insert a couple of pictures to show the yarn laid out for the kind of idea that I had. But basically it'll graduate out with the color blocks. So these are the colors in the first quadrangle. Here are the ones in the second quadrangle. The third. And the fourth. And then this is called the Queen's Pearls. It's the solid that came with it. It has got like a slightly pink tinge to it, like creamy with a tiny pink undertone. And my plan is to add a crochet border using this that'll kind of tie the whole design together. So that is my current big project. And I have it in this gray basket. I used to have my yarn scraps in here, but then I got another different container. I'll put up a picture here, and I moved the yarn scraps to there. Not the yarn scraps, sorry, the fabric scraps from like quilting. And that works so much better in terms of room. And so what I've done is in the 6 baskets I was using for that before, I now have a different advent project in each of them. And I will talk more about that in a minute, but let me finish with the last 2 projects I have to share. So the Bakery Bears mystery project for the year is called My Favorite Blanket. And you take 2 fingering weight yarns and you hold them together, and you have to do like so many stitches each month. And so I finished the first month. She gives directions on how to dye the colorways. I'm just trying to pick 2 colors from Stash that look close like those colorways. So here's the first one, and it's so squishy. It's so nice. And that's the second one. So the first 2 colors I am holding together. This is a yarnable one that I didn't manage to cancel in time, but it turned out perfect for this blanket. And it's held together with this one, which is a, it's supposed to be an Anne of Green Gables, so Anne, Shirley, and Gilbert. And so those two held together form this color. I think it's so cool how that looks. So the next two that, and I'm way behind on this. The next two that I'm holding together are these two. I think this is a Yarnable one. And I think this is another one by that same dyer who did the Anne of Green Gables one. So it's the same kind of consistency. But look at how like different they look from each other. But together they look so nice. I wish the colors showed better, but yeah. So I am still in February's section. I'm so far behind, but life is so crazy that just got backburnered. I didn't have time. But so my favorite blanket is what this one is called. And I am keeping, there is always about half the skein left of the yarn, so I'm keeping those separate from my normal scraps because that's enough for like a decent sized thing. The only other yarn project I have to share is the Aurora Cabin from Stephen West. That was my Boxing Day new start. And that is where I got to. I think I did a couple of hours on this one. But, yep. So, a lot more work to do, but I look forward to getting back to this one. So, I'm next going to go into talking about plans before I pause again to reset for the final section, which is yarn stash. So, future plans. It has been Advent buying season, so for the first time I did get an Halloween Advent. I think it's maybe only 13 minis. I'm not positive. The reason I got this one is that it's clue themed, and every day you open a clue and you're trying to solve a mystery, which I thought was so much fun sounding. I think I got this from Forbidden Fibers yarn. They also have cross stitch ones, and I think I saw today that they still have them, so if you want to look at that, you definitely should. Then I've gone yarn Advent crazy again. It started with one called Winter Ideal, and I think I panic bought that one, like worried. A lot of my go-to people were like, I'm not gonna do it this year, blah blah blah, that type of thing. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm worried I'm not gonna have one. Like, I don't know. That one was a panic, I think. I did decide to go with one that has some silk in it. I think it's mainly blues. I don't know. I don't remember. But that's from Canon Hand Dyed. Then she released that she was gonna do a banned books inspired one. And I was like, I work in a library. I need a book themed one. Like, so I signed up for this one. I'm doing this one that has yak. So it's a darker base, which I'm super excited with. I've never worked with yak before. And the other thing I'm excited about this is I plan on using for my Whipco board next year the titles of each of these banned books, putting it in one of the squares, and trying to read these 25 banned books. So I think that'll be really fun. Then Bluebird Yarns released that she was doing an Anne of Green Gables one, and I love Anne of Green Gables. And I resisted until the cart said there was only one left. And then I might have panic bought that one too. And then to make matters worse, I bought a Harry Potter one. So if you're counting, that's 4. Yeah, so I'm planning to make Vlogmas a more priority this year. I was overwhelmed with a new job last year, the World Cup, a lot of things going on, and I think I'll be more settled this upcoming December. And so I'm hoping to make that a bigger thing, because I love Vlogmas. I'm in a job that technically I'm done by 3:30 every day. Like, there's no reason why I can't do more of the things I love. Like, I don't have to spend 10 to 12 hours in my library just because it turns out I have some workaholic tendencies. But anyways. And then I've been putting it off, but yesterday I bought my normal stitch marker one. So that is 5 advent calendars, 4 yarns, 1 knot. At this point, I'm probably still gonna get the candle one again. I really liked that one. What other one did I try last year? I did the T1. I might veer away from Plum Deluxe and not get their T1. It just was, I was disappointed by a lot of them, but David's did the same exact one as the previous year, and I was not happy about that. So we'll see what happens in terms of tea. What other ones do I do? I don't know. I normally have so many. There's this one that is by this lady, and it's, I mean, like, kind of like stitch markers, but not really. She does like row counters and stuff like that. I've looked at it the last 2 to 3 years, and I'm always like just not sure that it's worth the price. But she has a lot more things that she's added to her collection the last couple of years, and so I'm debating that one. I don't think she's even put it up for sale yet, but yeah. So that is advent calendars, which brings us, like, it's all kind of tied in to talking about Christmas in July. Now, because I so completely failed in Vlogmas, and I'm a little bit worried that I will fail in Vlogmas again because school is so busy and I'm so tired. I mean, I didn't do a podcast for almost 6 months. I want to do Christmas in July vlogs, and so what I'm looking at doing is adding all of my started Advent projects into a like tiny decisions wheel, and every morning spinning and doing the next color in that Advent. I also would really like to finish all of the Advent socks that I have started. So I think that if I do like 2 rounds each day in one sock, finish that, move on to the next one, I might be able to finish all of the socks, the Advent started socks. I think I have 3 or 4. I have 3 or 4. Maybe it's 4. I think I have 2 from Mint Rain. Yeah, it's 4. So I'd like to finish those. So like, even if I do 1 for a week, like this week I'm aiming to finish this one. Next week I'd like to get those done. The other thing that I want to do is get my Christmas Whip Go squares completed. So I'm looking to put the ones that have been called. So I'm looking to put those also in a tiny decision spinner, and spinning that, and then trying to get the 1,000 stitches done, then I'll spin again. So that one won't be an everyday spin, it'll be an every 1,000 stitches spin. So my Whip Go boards are so very sad, and I'm about to share them with you. this is my not Christmas one, in which I have completed 1 square. This is my Christmas one, where I have also completed 1 square. So at this point I have 11, but by the time the 2 more gets drawn, I will have 13. Unless that middle one gets called, then I'll have 14. So that's a lot of stitches to get done, but you know, I'm ever hopeful. On my knitting and crochet with Go boards, there's nothing completed. It's really bad. And the book ones, I have completed nothing off of the BBC one. I've had a little bit more success off of the Taylor Swift themed ones, and I haven't gone through lately. I think I can fit a couple more books that I've read and be able to cross those off. So that is that. But so yeah, I'm hoping to do a Christmas in July vlog. And then the other thing that I'm thinking of doing is I have a 10-gram yarn one from the very first year I ever did an Advent, and they are still wrapped because I didn't like the project I had started with them. So I've completely forgotten basically all but the first 3 days because they're out of package. And so there is a cowl pattern that I'm thinking about doing with those, and so then do that every day as like an unwrap one. The winter ideal one that I ordered from Canyon Hand Dyes might ship by the end of this month, and if so, then maybe I'll do that as Christmas in July instead of holding on to it. But we will see. I have not made any like for sure definite plans, but I would like to do some form of Christmas in July and then take you guys along as I madly try to finish the projects that I have for my soon-to-be born niece and my 8-year-old nephew, and trying to get my life organized more before school starts back again. So we go back, I think the first day of school is August 7th. So yeah, it's starting back real soon. Oh, the other thing I realized, I watched back my past videos before doing this. I've massively failed on my bullet journal. Let's see. The last spread I made was February 5th, and even then, I basically didn't use it. So I am hoping to get this rebooted for July and start using it again, because I'm hoping now going into this next school year that I will be more settled in the job, that I will be find a better work-life balance. And yeah, but it's hard coming in halfway through a year and trying to learn everything and make friends and stuff like that. Like, I always went on my lunch break as opposed to like crafting during my lunch break, which is my norm, because I was still trying to get to know people and have people get to know me and things like that. And so I'm not in a place anymore where I need to do that. I'll still do it, like still go socialize with people most days probably, but like having some times where I just unwind on my lunch break is also an option and a possibility. So that's where those things kind of stand. I will come back with an updated like rest of the year goals video at the end of July or beginning of August. Just need to see how this next month and a half goes. And yeah, I know some of the goals I had set, like the 25 pairs of socks, not gonna happen. That would take a real miracle. I mean, that was like finishing a pair a week at this point. Oh, I'll share this outside of the stash acquisition part, but my husband had ordered me the Gilmore Girls hook, and it finally arrived. Like literally, it arrived last month. It was ordered in December, but it finally arrived, and isn't it so cute? I love it. I'm like not necessarily a massive fan of Gilmore Girls. I mean, of course I've watched it. I'm team Logan. in case you were wondering. I know that's not necessarily the most popular stance to take, but I do feel like they balanced each other well. I was not a fan of Jess, which I know is another very not popular thing to say. I think he was somewhat emotionally abusive towards her during the relationship. The way he left her is just, I don't think he was the guy for her, and I know a lot of people like the moody, broody type, but I'm not that person, so I'm Team Logan. So yeah, Gilmore Girls, and then it had 3 cute little markers with it, stitch markers. So this one's Yale, this one's a donut, and this one's a book. And it is from a designer called The Speckled Clay. So very good quality. I would recommend it. The only thing that I would change is they did not put the hook size on here anywhere. Yeah, and I'm not entirely sure what hook size this is. So that's the only thing I would change. But other than that, I think it's cute. Even if I don't end up really using it, it'll be a cute, like, decorative. And yeah, so I am going to bring over the yarn haul. Please keep in mind this is 6 months worth. I am sorry, but if you don't want to watch it, please just click off and have a great rest of your day. Bye. Okay, are you ready for this? And the sad part is I kind of feel like I'm missing some colors because I'm only looking at 3 of some clubs. Like this one is June, May, April. Where's March and February? I haven't done an update video. Where are those ones? I don't know. So we'll go with what's here. It's still obscene. I am sorry. There was way too many good clubs this year, so I haven't actually gotten this club in a while, but I have 3 to share, and that is the Little House on the Prairie Club. So this first one here is called Paper Garlands and Divinity Cake, and I think that's just a really lovely pink color with little hints of orange. And this is Bluebird yarn. The next one I have here is called The House in the Ground, and this is what it looks like. So pale pink, some of that nicer yellow. I'll probably use this for some socks or put it in that blanket. And then this one I really do like. It'll be interesting to see how it turns out, but it is called Spring Bonnets, and it's just got like dashes of color in it. So those are 3 from the Little House in the Prairie Yarn Club. The next 3 I'm going to share with you is from the the Spells and Things mystery self-striping, and it's a Harry Potter inspired. So this, well, that's June, May. Okay, so April. This is April's, and it is called Rictus Sempra. So it's a spell. This one I love. I think this is so beautiful. It is called Dumbledore's Army, and I really love those colors. This final one I do not love. It's called Sugar Quill, and that's what it looks like. Then they released a Wednesday club based off of the show Wednesday, which I haven't seen, but I love Addams Family, and I was hoping for something dark and moodier, which this is. And so the first couple of months I got sneaky. Rachel. Rachel, have you come to say hi? It's Rachel. This is the last girl you didn't meet before. Say hi, Rachel. I just wanted to steal some of your bags. Okay, there we go, Rachel. I don't have much of a DK stash, so I decided to start it in DK. I'm just not sure I love the look of self-striping in DK, so I switched it back to fingering. But so the first month they actually accidentally sent me the fingering weight instead of DK. So when I contacted them, they sent me the DK, and that's how I was able to compare directly what fingering versus DK is like. And I really love how this color looks. So it's called Ophelia's Hall. This is DK weight, and this is fingering. And so I just love it more in fingering. I might even do the same pattern for this so I can really do a side-by-side comparison. So that was from April. The next one, May, and this is June, yes, is called Wolfing Out. Love these colors. And that came the same month as Dumbledore's Army. I thought they were very nicely similar, but different enough. So this is Wolfing Out. Next we have June's, which is Nightshade Society, and I do like this. So these aren't like, these are more darker colors, not anything I would have gravitated towards naturally, and that's part of why I like having a mystery like this. So next we will do the few yarnables I have gotten. I still tend to skip most months. So this one is called Rest, Relax, and Recharge. After that, they changed to putting the extras in these little zippy bags, which are so great for crafting. So I'm really excited about that. So let's see. Oh yeah, I loved this color on the preview. It's a nice light blue, baby blue. I just really love colors like this, and it's called Pillow Party. This one I liked better in the preview. It's called Unicorn Dreamskate. It ended up way more pastel-y than I thought it would. This is more like cotton candy to me than what the cover image was. So, I mean, it's still pretty. It just probably is one I would have skipped had the image looked more like what it turned out looking like. So, I mean, that's okay. That happens. Let's see where next to go. So the Harry Potter Club. 1 month, this was the colorway, and I loved it so much. I think it's so perfect. It's called Fire of the Goblet. And I loved it so much. I was like, hey, if you ever end up dyeing more, let me know. And someone else had requested that she dye more. And so she has to dye in batches of 4. So I was like, well, yeah, I'll take the extra 2. And so I now have 3. The extras didn't come with mini skeins. But I have 3 of the same color. So I'm looking for a nice project that will use about this much yarn. and I really, really love it. Or even do like socks with this and a shawl with this. I don't know. I just love this so much. So continuing with the Harry Potter yarn, I'll just bring all of the ones over here. Again, I feel like some are missing. So this one is called the Shrieking Shack. I think this would be a good colorway to do socks for my husband or something like that. This one is called Lily's Fish. Not a huge fan, but it's okay. I probably won't keep the mini yarn with it. I'll keep it separate. I like this one. It's called Luna Lovegood, and I feel like we've had a Luna Lovegood before, but maybe not. But I do like that. Maybe when my niece is older, this can make some cute socks or a scarf or something for her. I'm so happy to have a girl. Boys are just harder to craft for. I mean, my nephew loves everything we make for him, but it's just harder. You can make like doll clothes and other things that you just can't do for boys. This is Summer at Black Lake. Love this color so much. I really feel like this dyer has hit it out the ballpark this year. I've loved so many of the colors. Only one was one I was like, not so much. And even then, I've had past years where it was more of a like, oh, what is this? So then the final two clubs are the Lord of the Rings related clubs. So we have The Dawn Will Take You All, and I love that. This one is called Sting, in another colorway I just love. And then this one is called Radagast the Brown. Love it. So that was the Hobbit Club, there and back again. They also did a Rings of Power Club. Oh, I have so many project ideas for this. I know it just is a simple gray. There is some like fade in it, but I need that. I don't have enough of that in my stash, and there are some patterns that just call for a more solid color. So this one's called The Stranger. This one is called Eleanor Nori Brandyfoot. Love it. And finally, which, oh, this one is gorgeous, is The Worm. So those are my stash acquisitions. There is only one more month of the Harry Potter Yarn of the Month Club. Well, 2 more to show you guys, but only 1 more to buy. So that club is almost done for the year. I haven't bought Little House on the Prairie in months. And then that just continues with the self-striping clubs and the 2 Lord of the Rings clubs. So most of my stash acquisitions are mystery clubs. That's how I acquire my yarn stash. So anyways, that is the update, and I hope to be back really soon. I hope to get this edited and uploaded quickly. But yeah, that's all I really have to share. I'll talk with you guys later. Bye.